Hello, this is the Z Podcast, and I'm here with.
Carrie Marshall.
And today we will be talking about the Great Migration, New Beginnings, and past generation of my family. So, what's your name?
Carrie Marshall.
And who are you to me?
Your grandmother?
So, I have some questions for you about the Great Migration. So, number one, how close are you or were you to your older relatives who migrated to the north?
That would be my mother, her sibling, her mother, and her siblings.
And following that question, were y'all all living together?
No, they lived in a little town called Wynne, Arkansas. It's about 45-minute drive from Memphis, Tennessee. There were, I think, 11 children. Altogether, their mother, my grandmother, had 11 children.
So were they in one house?
No, they weren't in one house. They were, wait a minute. My grandmother had 11 children. Yes, they were all in one house, but they was born over from starting in 1909, which is my grandmother, Willie Carey, was born in 1909. And the baby boy name was Arsby. He was born in 1938.
What were your significant challenges that you faced during the Great Migration or after?
I would say the move from the north to the south for me, but my grandmother, excuse me, my mother and my grandmother now, their challenge was leaving the South, coming to the North. They came one by one because whoever the first one was that came here, like my grandmother, and then they followed suit one by one, and they would stay with that sibling till they got on their feet, and they just repeated the same pattern until those who moved here.
Okay. What prompted you or your family to move from the South?
As I stated before, my grandmother was the first to move here, and they came here for a better life. They had better opportunities because where they lived, it was a small racist town, and there was really not much of an opportunity for them other than being housemaids or housewives at that time. Maybe farming. They did. My great grandmother had a farm and they tended the farm. So they had farming, going out in the fields, picking cotton. They picked peaches, corn, all the things that you hear about picking corn, rice, peaches. Oh, I hate that because I had to do a little of that once I was going down there on my own. And like I said, there really wasn't much for them to do in that little town.
Yes. And oh,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. Oh,
My grandmother and her sisters, they all worked as maids in the rich white folks' house. And that's basically all they really had.
yes, because in this paper it says that. Wait, I lost it. Give me 1 second. It
hmm
says that he was an a factory operative, a railroad man, and a sharecropper and farmer. It says
That would
after he
be
left the service.
that would be my great grandmother, Mary. We call her Mama Mary. That would be her brother Henry, I believe, right?
Yes.
Because they had a farm where actually it was the family's farm. And that's where basically the men worked too. Like I said, they left Wynne, Arkansas, and they came north. Some went to Mounds, Illinois, Edwardsville, Alton, Illinois. They came to Chicago, went to Skokie, Illinois, and some of also went to St. Louis, Missouri.
So, what were your method of transportation?
Transportation. As a child, I remember my mother taking me and my twin brother. We used to ride the train all the time. The last time, I'm sorry, the first time I think I remember would be riding the train all the way to California. But I also remember other times when my cousin died as a child. I remember us taking the train down there. And maybe about the early 70s, that's when they started to travel in cars, and we would always travel in pairs. We would never be on the road, just one car, one family in one car. It will always be two or three or more cars traveling in pairs when we go from Chicago to down south, is what they call it, or down south back to Chicago.
Was there anything that they or you had left behind when you left home?
Yes, when my grandmother, Mama Woolley, when she left, The children were left behind with Mama Mary, and they would leave the children behind till they got situated wherever they was going. After they got to where they were, y'all, excuse me, hold on. Erica, when they left Arkansas, the grandchildren will stay with Mama Mary, and she would keep them until the mother got settled wherever they went to. As I said, Edwardsville, that was Aunt Irene, that's where she went. So her children would stay with Mama Mary until Aunt Irene got situated where she was in Edwardsville. Mama Willie, my grandmother, my moms and her sisters would stay with Mama Mary until Mama Willie got situated when she came to Chicago. And that's the pattern that they used back then. And they always stuck together and helped each other out.
What did you experience in the South that you are glad you don't experience now?
Oh, what did I experience in the South that I'm glad I don't do now?
Yes,
Um,
did it glitch when I said that?
that would be racism. Understanding what racism is and facing it for the first time in my life was nothing like how it was taught to me. It was the worst experience I had. I never want to go through that again. The disrespectful treatment was cruel and unacceptable. And I feel that people should learn how to treat others the way they want to be treated. But it was just the disrespectful. That's why people being disrespectful. There's no other way to say it.
How are the communities in the South compared to the communities in the North?
How are the communities compared? Wow. Well, actually, it was separated. As of today, you still have a railroad track that divides this little hometown community. Black folks on one side of the railroad track and the white folks on the other side of the railroad track. And although time has progressed since then, it's still like that, but it's a little bit better. There was a tornado that went through our hometown about 3 years ago. It's sad that it took a tornado to tear our town down for them to come together. But since then, it's gotten a little bit better. Now, black folks has crossed the other side of the track, and now they live on what they call white side of the town. Although they haven't moved over on the black side of town, but the blacks have moved over across the track on the white side of town.
Did you meet anyone who changed your life after or during the migration?
Not really, because most of the people I've known since I was a little child, I grew up with them. Because I've grown up there, well, I'm not growing up there, but spending time, my summer vacations and other vacations and other times down there, I already knew most of the people that I knew as became an adult. So, no, I didn't really meet anyone.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for taking your time for participating in my family great migration story. And thank you guys for taking your time and listening. Once again, thank you. Enjoy your day. Signing off, the Z.
Okay. Buck was a farmer and Harriet a housewife, according to the 1980 manuscript census of the United States. Buck and Harriet Motley were the parents of 4 children when slavery was ended by the 13th Amendment in 1865. Their children were George, Jacob, Elizabeth, and Henry, who were 8, 6, 1, and less than a year old when the family gained its freedom. Henry is my great grandfather, the lady who wrote the book. The fifth child, Maddie, was born in 1868, and the sixth child was Emma, who was born in 1870. New information from Grandpa's Veteran Administration records allow us to interpret the census data more accurately. The 1900 census had indicated that Emma and Henry Motley had at least 3 children while living in Mississippi. Mary was born in 1887, Pearl in 1892, and Jim H. Henry in 1894. Emma had borne 4 others who were deceased. The couple had 2 living children, both whom had been born in Wynne, Arkansas, Bessie in 1896 and Benny in 1899. Thus, the family seemed to have lived in Corinth for at least 7 years, from about 1887 to 1894. County reports to the Mississippi State Superintendent of Schools further suggest that Emma and Henry Motley and their family had left Corinth before 1896. Their son Odell of Colt indicated that after 1900, my grandparents had four additional sons: Wesley, Irvin, Odell, and Essex. Those were the last four boys. Born on September 10th, 1894, the person noted above as John H. was later called Henry Motley, who was my grandfather. Again, this is the lady who wrote the book.